how you find yourself.
In the news, email praising haste, it is an act of terrorism, Buhari. Email praising haste, IPOB denies involvement. Across Africa, tribal violence, at least 40 killed in Sudan's Darfur, state of emergency declared. On the global scenes, Indonesia flood, East Timor flood death toll surges past 150. And in business, debt service, IMF, World Bank may extend suspension for Nigeria others. Details shortly. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. I am Rose Audu and you're watching TOS News 360. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the deadly insurgent attack on the police command headquarters and the Nigeria Correctional Facility in Owerri, Imo State, calling it an act of terrorism. The president, in his reaction contained in a statement issued by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu in Abuja, commended the initial response by security guards and security forces for preventing greater loss of life and the destruction of public property. The president directed security and intelligence agencies in the state to go after the terrorists and also urged members of the public to be vigilant, saying that security remains everybody's responsibility. The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, has also ordered a detailed investigation into the jailbreak that resulted in the escape of hundreds of inmates. Uzodimma spoke in Owerri when he visited the Correctional Center to assess the extent of damage. He also gave assurance that the situation is under control and that the state government is currently working with the security agencies to get to the end of the matter. Still on the Imo prison break, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has denied its involvement in the attack of the Imo State Correctional Facility. The group, in a statement by its media and publicity secretary, Ima Powerful, denied its alleged involvement in the attack, saying it was not part of its mandate or that of the Eastern Security Network to attack security agents and their facilities. Meanwhile, the National Association of Resident Doctors has directed doctors at the various COVID-19 isolation centers across the country to join the nationwide strike it began on April 1st. The association has also threatened to impose a fine of 5 million naira on any of its branches that failed to join the strike. It also said branches found wanting would not be able to hold any national position for the next 2 years. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're watching TOS News 360. More stories after the break. Welcome back. Judiciary workers Tuesday morning shut down the Supreme Court in Abuja following their threat to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike to press home its demand for financial autonomy for the judicial arm of government. The development came as a defiance to the last-minute appeal by the Nigerian Bar Association to the workers to shelve the industrial action, which it said was ill-timed considering the COVID-19 constraints the Nigerian court had been battling with the last 2 years. Within the last year, workers of other two key judiciary institutions such as the National Judicial Council and the Federal Judicial Service Commission, which both share the same premises with the Supreme Court, were also affected. Still on the judiciary, members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria on Tuesday shut down the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos State. They also escorted staffs from their offices, courtrooms and premises of the court. According to reports, the JUSAN members were enforcing their indefinite nationwide strike action which commences on Tuesday following the inability of the government to fulfill its demand for financial autonomy of the judiciary. And now to education. The effort of the federal government to convene a meeting with the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnic has failed as the union has declared a nationwide strike from April 6, 2020 over what it called culture of neglect by government on issues affecting the technological education subsector. President of ASUP Anderson Uzebe disclosed this to newsmen at the end of the 99th meeting of the National Executive Council of the Union at Hassan Usman Polytechnic, Katsina. TOS Television News learned that the industrial action was informed by 6 key factors affecting polytechnic education in Nigeria. The Emeritus Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Onayekon, has said that nobody can stop the Bishop of Sokoto, Reverend Matthew Kukah, from speaking against bad governance in the country. The presidency had earlier described the critique of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration by Kukah as ungodly, accusing the bishop of playing partisan politics in his Easter message. Onayekon, who appeared as a guest on television interview in Abuja, said he believed the genuine religious leaders had a role to play in politics, which included advancing the cause of the masses and speaking truth to power. He also added that Bishop Kukah is not preparing a coup against Buhari. He is rather concerned about the country's current situation. The governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawalle, has called on Nigerian youth to be active participants in politics in order to save the nation from collapse. The governor added that it is only when the youth participate in politics that they could be part of the decision-making process and chart the desired course for the progress of the nation. Matawalle made the call in Kaduna at the Arawa House, where he was inducted into the Sir Ahmadu Bello Sardauna Hall of Fame and conferred with the most outstanding award of the year titled Icon of Youth and Student Development by the leadership of Northern Nigerian Youth and Students Forum. And the Ogun State government has cleared the air on the domestic debts owed by the state, stating that the figures given to it by the immediate past administration led by Ibikunle Amosun did not capture the entire liabilities it left behind. According to a statement released by the Chief Press Secretary to the state governor, Kunle Somorin, about 50 billion naira in financial liabilities were not accounted for in the financial report handed over to Governor Dakpo Abiodun in May of 2019. It said the omitted amounts were financial liabilities incurred by the immediate past administration due to unpaid pensions, gratuities, and outstanding staff salaries, which surprisingly were not captured in the books left behind for the government. We only got to know about these amounts in the course of our carrying out due diligence on Ogun State finances shortly after we took over. And as a transparent government committed to being accountable, we had to disclose this for the first time to give a true picture of the state's indebtedness. This is your digital-first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're watching TOS News 360. More stories after this timeout. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. A Lagos-based clergyman, Frederick Arumowa, who was abducted along Ipele to Idwani Ifra Road in Ondo State, has been found dead after his family paid a ransom of 2 million naira to his abductors. It was gathered that the deceased left Lagos for his hometown in Ifra Akoko, Ondo State, with his driver for the Easter festivity. He was declared missing when he did not arrive his hometown, as expected by his family members, who had contacted other family members in Lagos. Nigeria on Monday recorded no fatalities from COVID-19 complications, according to health authorities, following a trend which began Friday. With no deaths in the past 4 days, the fatality toll in the country has remained at 2,058. The country also recorded 135 new cases in 11 states on Monday. The new tally raised the total number of infections in Nigeria to 163,330, according to the NCDC data. In the past 1 week, there has been a further decline in new cases as daily infections have fallen below 200. Daily infections averaged over 1,000 between December of 2020 and February of 2021. And on to African stories. The United Nations among the report that at least 40 people have been killed and 58 injured in tribal clashes since Saturday in Al Guinea. The capital of the West Darfur, it is the latest deadly violence in the troubled Western Sudanese region. The clashes started after 2 people died and 2 others were wounded when a man shot at members of the Al-Masalid tribe who were towing their car to Al-Genena on Saturday. A statement by the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs disclosed since April 3, 40 people have been killed in recent clashes between the Al-Masalid and Arab tribes. The situation remains tense in the town of Al-Genena, the statement added. The humanitarian operations and fights have been suspended until the situation improves in the city, said the UN OCHA. Said in a statement, also a state of emergency has been declared by the Sudan's authorities. Palma, the town in northern Mozambique, the ISIS group attacked on March 24 is not secure and complete control regained after the state military killed a significant number of fighters and cleared one final area. An army spokesman, a provincial official, Commander Chongo Vidigal, leader of military operations to regain control of Palma, told Mozambique State Television on Monday. The insurgents' attack on the coastal town was no natural gas project worth $60 billion that are meant to transform Mozambique's economy. Islamic State-linked insurgents have been increasingly active in Cabo Delgado since 2017, although it is unclear whether they have a unified aim. 8 groups believe the latest attack displaced tens of thousands of people, many of whom fled into dense forest or escaped by boat. But the extent of the deaths and displacements is not yet clear, and many remain unaccounted for. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has given the final approval to a legislation allowing him to hold office for 2 additional 6-year terms, opening the possibility for him to remain in power until 2036. The 68-year-old Russian leader, who has already been in power for more than 20 years, signed off on the bill on Monday, according to a copy posted on the government's legal information portal. Putin proposed the change last year as part of constitutional reforms that Russians overwhelmingly backed in a vote in July, and lawmakers approved the bill in March. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're still watching 360 News. Welcome back. Officials said floods and landslides caused by tropical cyclone Seroja on islands in Indonesia's southeast and East Timor have killed people and made thousands homeless. Rescuers are still in search for dozens of people who are still missing. The Disaster Management Agency in Indonesia said it had recorded 130 deaths in a cluster of remote islands near East Timor, while another 27 have been listed dead. Search and rescue teams in Indonesia were racing to find more than 70 people still missing and using diggers to clear mountains of debris. Police, soldiers and residents dug through the debris with their bare hands, shovels and hoes, searching for those buried. As efforts that were being hindered by heavy rain, relatives wailed as they watched rescuers pull out a body covered in mud, place it on a bamboo stretcher and take it away. The disaster agency has estimated that 125 million Indonesians, which is nearly half of the country's population, live in areas at risk of landslides. According to environmentalists, the disasters are caused by deforestation most of the time. The National Disaster Agency representative Radyat Jati said authorities were still working to evacuate remote communities and provide shelter to those affected by the storm. Nigeria may be warming up for a debt repayment relief, as there are strong indications that the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund would recommend to the G20 an extension of the debt service suspension initiative by low-income countries until the end of 2021. Nigeria is currently owing the two institutions about US $14 billion, while the 2021 budget has projected to spend as much as 3.12 trillion naira in debt servicing during the fiscal year. Still on business, a move to support the entertainment, creative and technology sectors in the country, the Buhari administration has commenced a process that will provide the sectors with about 240 billion naira in financing and investment set to take off by the end of the year. The government says the $500 million equivalent financing, which is to be sourced from the AFDB, will be used for the establishment of a $500 million fund in support of what has been named the Nigeria Innovation Program. A report of the first draft project proposal was presented by the AFDB to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo last week. The AFDB is expected to give its approval in October. And Canadian singer Abel McKernan Sapphire over the weekend donated a sum of $1 million to relieve struggles in Ethiopia. The music star, who made the donation known on his Instagram page, says he planned to provide 2 million meals to displaced people with the donations. He made the donations in Ethiopia in line with the crisis between the government and the Tigray region, resulting to thousands of deaths and over 1 million displaced people. The current donation by the singer is just one of his numerous donations following the adverts of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. The singer donated $1 million in COVID-19 relief, with part of the money going to a Canada hospital. A Nigeria singer, Kelly Hasome, has accused music mogul Don Jazzy of getting him arrested with men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS. Kelly Husman revealed this while reacting to the recent interview Don Jazzy had with popular host and presenter Ebuka Obi-Uchendu, where Don Jazzy dared anyone to come out and accuse him of any wrongdoing. Hasome opposed the Don Jazzy statement as he accused him of getting him arrested a while ago. Even with the allegations made, Don Jazzy is yet to make any reactions. Kelly Hasame had accused Don Jazzy for trying to get him arrested for the first time in the year of 2018. And the swimmer representing Delta State in the National Sports Festival collapsed after completing his event at the ongoing festival in Benin City. Medical personnel at the scene attended to the swimmer and were able to resuscitate him before attempting to take him to the hospital. Officials of Team Delta, however, declined requests by the medical personnel to have the swimmer taken to the hospital as he had become stable. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African network. For more updates, visit www.torstvnetwork.com. Do follow and like TOS Television Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more program on TOS Television Network. I am Rose Audu, and thanks for watching.
But we as a continent